It's kind of white up against the wall. Dude, here. See? Crab. Come on.
Where?
It must be out. Come on. Just now, come on.
Oh, that's cool.
Here, you see the crabs? There's another one right there.
This fish says, how do you think you're watching me? I'm watching you.
A what? Feed me. His rings, he wanted to feed me.
I wish we found Nemo. That's right.
There's the tidal pool over there. We can touch them.
Bye. I'm not gonna see you. Oh, hold on.
Can we go touch the tidal wave thing while we wait? I wonder if he'll scream if we start cooking them.
No, the fish don't scream if they say, "Where's the garlic butter?"
I'm just going this way. Mom, look at that one. This is a stop.
From far out in space, our Earth is a blue-green jewel set in an airless, waterless void. This precious sphere, covered as it is by more than 2/3 water, would more rightly be called planet Ocean. For it was in the ancient sea that all life began, and it is the sea that sustains it still. Some of the ocean's inhabitants have remained perfect and unchanged since the dawn of time. Others have left the sea to walk or crawl upon the land, and some, like the great whales, the seals and sea lions, have returned to it. The creature to have most recently attempted this homecoming is man himself. With faltering, furtive steps, we are just beginning to unravel the timeless mysteries of the oceans. and by doing so, find it not the dangerous, dark, and unwelcoming place of myth, but a fragile and beautiful world in which we are still but mere visitors.
Hello everyone, my name is Phil, and I would like to welcome you to the Undersea Gardens. I'd also like to introduce you to our diver. This is Mike, and he is going to be our guide through the small corner of the underwater world today. We are all 10 feet beneath the water surface, aboard an actual floating vessel. This vessel is 150 feet in length and 50 feet wide. More than 5,000 animals of various species inhabit the waters around the vessel in a natural but protected environment. The water temperature is anywhere from 47 up to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's why Mike wears protective equipment that he does, so he doesn't get too cold. In addition to his suit, Mike also wears a weight around his waist to help control his buoyancy. At this depth, his air supply should last about an hour. Mike can hear us as well as see us. Today we're going to start the show off with the Dungeness crab. The Dungeness crab is a very important part of Newport's economy. In fact, Newport is considered to be the Dungeness crab capital of the world. If you were to go to a restaurant here on the coast and order something with crab in it, there's a pretty good chance this little guy is more than likely what you'd find on your plate. They are both feisty and tasty.
Crabs, being crustaceans, are members of a group of creatures that in sheer numbers dominate the earth and have done so for more than 500 million years. The crab's hard shell is in fact its skeleton, so that in order to grow, it must be shed and replaced by a larger one, up to 7 times in a lifetime. Once hatched from its egg, the crab spends the early stages of its life swimming freely amongst the plankton. A master of adaptability, the crab inhabits every corner of the ocean and ranges in size from less than half an inch up to 11 feet across.
The crabs most commonly found in our waters include the red rock crab, the box crab, the hermit crab, and of course the Dungeness crab. Generally solitary dwellers, crabs prefer to remain in hidden crevices, or in the case of the hermit crab, in discarded shells of other creatures. 2 of the crab's legs have been developed into powerful pinchers for feeding and defense. In case of a larger species, a painful wound may be inflicted. As a secondary line of defense, the crab also has the ability to shed and regenerate its limbs, oftentimes giving up a leg to a serious predator in hopes that predator won't be too hungry and may even leave the rest of the crab alone.
Another group of creatures capable of regeneration are the sea stars. In fact, in some cases, should the animal be cut into 2 or more pieces, a corresponding number of complete and separate animals will eventually develop. Relying on a remarkable system of hydraulics for locomotion and a single photosensitive cell on the tip of each arm for sight, the sea stars appear as truly otherworldly beings. As successful predators which have adapted to life in the deepest abyss or the shallowest shoreline, the sea stars prey on shellfish, sponges, anemones, fish, and other sea stars. Once the victim is located, its grasps are opened with a pressure sometimes exceeding 100 pounds. The sea star then forces its own stomach out of its body into and hold of a meal, where it's digested before being passed back through the mouth.
The waters of the Pacific Northwest support the largest variety of sea stars anywhere in the world. On the underside of the sea star are tens of thousands of tiny tube feet, which enable the animal to glide over the toughest of surfaces with a seemingly effortless grace, with a breakneck speed of about 1/8 of a mile an hour. Now, 1/8 of a mile an hour may not seem that fast to you or me, but believe it or not, the sea star can make it almost all the way around our aquarium in about an hour. Now that's pretty fast considering that their main source of food are clams and other shellfish. They only move about 10 to 12 feet per year. So I'd say that definitely gives the sea star an advantage over its prey.
Yeah.
Long believed to be the link between animals and plants, anemones are now known to be carnivorous animals, closely related to the corals, hydroids, and jellyfish. In fact, anemones could almost be considered jellyfish that have decided to stand on their heads and attach to the rock for a while. The tentacles are equipped with stinging cells, which act like tiny harpoons, barbed and poisonous. Should some unfortunate creature come into contact with them, they are snared, paralyzed, and drawn through the mouth into the body cavity. As very prolific and colorful as flowers, anemones will often congregate in huge numbers, where the action of wave and current afford a rich and plentiful food supply. In these areas, the sea floor is transformed into a living yet ghostly garden.
Not all anemones remain attached to the sea floor. When faced with a predator, some of them actually burrow into the sand, while others just simply swim away. The most common defense of the anemone is to fold up its tentacles and become a featureless blob upon the rocks. The anemone also assumes that same position while it's digesting its food. The natural laws of the jungle also apply to the creatures of the sea. However, in order to keep our marine life happy, we've interfered just slightly with nature to provide a feeding time. And although it's difficult to train many fish, Mike has conditioned our marine life to respond to the sound of a dinner bell. The fish of the world can be appreciated for their stunning beauty, complexity, and for their importance in the food chain. It's often a surprise to many people that fish are so very long-lived. In fact, the lifespan of 30 to 40 years is not that uncommon at all. Most of the fish you see swimming around Mike are a variety of our perch and rockfish. We have three kinds of perch: pilean perch, surf perch, and striped sea perch. We also have quite an array of rockfish as well, and those are the fish you see swimming around that appear to have a mohawk running down their back.
Like the shark,
She's coming right to you this way, Mike.
unchanged for millions of years. Its ancient armor-plated ancestors
He's got Stanley right there.
roamed the oceans when the Earth was young. Sturgeon species inhabit murky rivers and lakes from Canada to Eurasia, with a few of them, such as the white sturgeon, spending a part of their life cycle in the ocean. Their very poor eyesight is compensated for by the extremely sensitive whiskers, which protrude in front of their mouths. By dragging these along the bottom, the sturgeon locates sea animals such as shrimp, worms, and clams, before sucking them up into their tube-like mouths. The sturgeon are the only fish species with their skeleton on the outside of their bodies. For most of us, the sea is an alien place. We are not consciously affected by it. We give it no emotional thought. But it is essential that we do. For many of us, the sight of the distant stars and planets is more familiar than now our own ocean realm. Only through understanding that we are all directly linked to and dependent upon the fragile beauty of the sea and its inhabitants will we ensure their survival, and by doing so, ensure our own. We have just spent a few brief moments with some of the creatures of the sea, with whom we share this, our planet ocean.
I'd like to thank you all for coming to the Undersea Gardens today. Why don't we give Mike a big hand and thank him for the awesome show? Hey, thanks, Mike. Thank you all for coming to the show. I hope you enjoyed it. While you're on the waterfront today, don't forget to visit Ripley's and Waxworks. It's just across the street in Mariner Square. So Mike's going to be upstairs in about 5 or 10 minutes, and he'll be happy to answer any questions you have for him. And again, thank you all very much for coming.
Oh, he's looking at the stingray. Touch it. Sing it. That's a stingray.
It's pretty fun to watch this crab is walking. That's the big sturgeon.
And flop. Now you can go down. Jump. There you go. Using 6 to 1. You see.